Perfect. Give it up once again for all these wonderful directors, and while the directors make their way up here to these films. So this is our Q&A section. I've got 5 questions for you guys, but first, let's go down the line and introduce ourselves, tell us what film you did, and just say your name.
Hi, my name is Zachary Jumper. I did Polarangel. Oh, that's yours. Sorry, no, I'm just kidding. I did The Fortune. That's my film. Where I get a fortune cookie that someone says they fucked my wife. Hello. Cheers.
Hi, my name is Katherine Quinn, and I directed Polarangel.
Hi, my name is Matteo. I directed The Movie Dealer.
Hi, I'm Whaley, and I directed Betsy.
Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm the DP of Felt. The director couldn't make it today. I'm here on her behalf.
You've made an issue giving me that microphone, I gotta be honest. I'm just kidding. Take it back.
Oh, okay, thank you. I can be loud, but... No. All right, so our first question is, what was the inspiration for creating your film?
I was eating Chinese food, and I was about to open up a fortune cookie, and I'm like, it'd be hilarious. I thought it'd be hilarious if someone got a fortune that was so horrible that it really just, it fucking ruined their life. And then I was like, oh, I should make that into a movie, or I shouldn't. And microphone's like, you definitely shouldn't. But I did. So that's about it. Yeah. What was yours inspiration, please?
My film, I kind of wanted to explore a different facet of love that I just hadn't really ever seen, like, spoken about or much media about, and it's sort of like the destructive side of it, like kind of loving someone so much that it like eats away at you and becomes a destructive force. So that was my impetus for writing this.
So, just a little side note, Zach does this thing called the Breakneck Film Race, and I signed up for that, and on the drive home from like a filmmakers meetup, I was in the car with Ada and we were just brainstorming ideas for that. And I was like, what if we did like a drug deal, but instead of drugs, it was movies? And he's like, yes.
I didn't really plan to make this film, but I was just out with my friend Tariq one night and just wanted to shoot that first shot in the film. I saw a cool building and thought it looked fun to shoot. So then, you know, I just was shooting that underpass and just started directing him, and then it kind of kept going and going, and I had that little doll in my car, and I was like, why don't I just do something with this? And then eventually I put it together and then wrote the script after. So I did everything completely wrong, but, you know, it was fun, so that's the important part.
I know for Maddie at least, she took inspiration from 2 different places. One being the work of Jim Henson, the creator of the Muppets. After reading his biography, she was completely enthralled with puppetry. She just loved the kind of comical aspect that puppetry just naturally has that reaches beyond human acting. And another inspiration was her mother, who always played with stuffed animals and giving them these goofy kind of personalities. So that really fostered her imagination and really just inspired her.
Perfect. So next question is, what was your favorite moment from being on set?
My favorite moment from being on set, I actually had 2, if I can answer two parts. Is this okay?
Maybe.
All right, if we have time. All right. So the first part that I loved was, so when I choked the fortune cookie, my good friend and co-star Cole Buck, who's in the back, everyone wave, hello. Anyway, he had to give me the Heimlich, and I spit the fortune cookie out into my friend's, my other actor is Shauna Waldron, her eyeball. It doesn't matter. And there was like 5 takes of me just throwing a fortune cookie as hard as I possibly could into her eyeball, and she was totally cool with it. And I was just thinking, like, this is a fantastic time to direct. Like, I'm like, hey, so my direction is just, I'm gonna throw a fortune cookie in your eyeball. Yeah, and it's gonna hurt, but also it'll probably hurt in real life. So just use it. And she's like, I got it. That was a fun time. And then also, sorry, real quick. And then also when I'm initially choking, and I put it in the film. I spit across the table and hit my other friend, Chris Dingley, that was just by accident. So we were just filming the wide shot of me choking, and it just projectiled out of my mouth and hit him. I was like, that's the best thing I've ever done on camera. So those are those two parts stick out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously mine was a very different tone, but
Not at all. What are you talking about? We did the same movie.
we had so much like fun on that set, which I think was good because it was such like heavy subject matter, but we were like giggling and laughing through the whole thing. And at one point, like the wide shot where she's like covered in blood and like looking at him, and it's like very somber, like my stomach was growling so loud and everyone could hear it, and everyone was like kind of like covering their mouth like not to laugh. So that was a fun moment. I think a lot of it was like just playful moments like that broke the tension constantly. It was a very lighthearted shoot for a very heavy movie.
Some of like my fun / favorite moments were me yelling at Aiden not to stand on top of the car to get a shot, and then us all getting ice cream when the ice cream truck came around. So that was fun, and then the whole film in general was really fun and enjoyed making it.
So my favorite moment was on that shot where he's walking down the middle of the road. We had to do like 3 or 4 takes of that because the road was so icy that he kept slipping. And so I have a few shots of him just eating ass.
I'm not too sure what Maddie's favorite moment of this whole filmmaking process was. I know she was just completely thrilled in getting the script made and everything. This was her first time directing, outside of school assignments, of course. But for me personally, it was the photo shoot. Just seeing the subject, Phoebe, get into these different outfits, get into these different hairstyles. It was awesome to shoot that.
All right, next question. What are you most proud of in your film? I'm like afraid to hand you the mic.
Acting up.
I can't believe you keep giving me this thing back. It's shocking. I mean, I would love to. Anyway, what am I most proud of my film?
Yeah.
I'm just proud of, to be honest, the people that are down to collaborate and work on an independent film in the local area. Because like a lot of us here are like, we're independent filmmakers. We have these crazy ideas, and it's like.
What's your language?
Sorry, I know you have sensitive ears. But like, no, for real though, like a lot of us, you know what I mean? Like me, I wanted to be a filmmaker for a long time, but I've had these ideas, and I just wanted to get out there, and like I was lucky enough to like establish somewhat like of a community here, and I've kind of reached out and found people that are down to collaborate. So my favorite part of it is just that people are down to make shit happen, and I'm beyond stoked to be a part of it. So, see, I'm not always so bad with the microphone. I can do some good things sometimes. Should I keep going? No, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I have pretty much a similar answer. I'm just really proud of my team. I think we all feel such an intense pride for the film. I think something that's so special about it is like everyone really walked away like really championing it. Like everyone involved in it, you know, and I think that was because we had such an amazing time on it. And I'm also just so proud of the performances. I feel like they really gave their all, and I don't know, not to be too navel-gazing, but it like does move me when I watch it. But I think that's all due to like the team and all our hard work. So my team and my people.
Yeah, on very similar notes, I'm just very proud working with everyone, Aiden, Jesse, and Jay, who couldn't be here tonight. But just working with them to create this thing in one day, and then just seeing all the shots, like how they came out, and like just seeing all the movies in the back of the trunk, I really liked that shot.
I mean, I feel like I really fudged my film, so I don't know what to say. So I feel like I'm proud of just that it came together the way it did, and that I had fun doing it, and Tariq helped me a lot with, you know, figuring out the edit, and he also helped me pick that classical music piece, or not classical, but you know, the dramatic background music, so I guess that's it.
I know for Maddie, being able to achieve what we achieved for so little was her proudest moment. It was a very low budget film, made with a few, I think $500, and a lot of love between like the crew members and everything too. So to be able to see Phoebe come to life was a huge proud moment for her. I know that the puppeteer, Frankie Temple Ruthless, is their name. That was their first time puppeteering anything ever. So to be able to see that was an extremely proud moment for Maddie.
All right, so I know that we're all kind of younger filmmakers. What was the most challenging part of making this film, and how did you overcome it?
Thank you for calling me younger. The most challenging thing about this film is really just getting like a bunch of people together that are down to make a film. Because it's like, in independent filmmaking, it's like you usually, for filmmakers, don't have much of a budget. So it's like, listen, I could feed you, and I'm gonna keep you in this house for, on paper, I'm gonna say 3 hours, but most likely it's gonna be 9 to 10 hours. The most challenging part is finding people that are down, but once you find those people that are down, it's an ease. Editing is sometimes challenging, but I'm an editor, so ain't nothing. Oh, I'm still talking. That's it. Yeah, those are the things.
Yeah, I think the most challenging part for me for this project was like creating the book, because I had to do a lot of photo shoots of like pretend we're all at a college party, pretend we're at prom, and like most of my films, all of my films have been very of that ilk, like a huis clos, like 2 to 4 actors in a room. So I had to like get a bunch of people at my friend's apartment and like, conduct like a faux party scene. I'd never worked with extras in that capacity, and that was really overwhelming, but it was kind of low stakes because it was just getting shots that made it look real. But yeah, it was a lot of people in the way of like extras.
I think the most challenging part for my film was, since we were a part of a film race that had like certain criteria, we had to fit in the line, my eyeball, my eyeball, my eyeball. So I didn't come up with it, but thank you. So we just had to kind of come up with a scenario where, I could say that, or someone could say that, and then we just had Jesse flick me in the eye while I was making monkey noises. So.
Probably similarly like props. Because the only real prop was that photograph, but ironically that took a lot of planning because I had to get the photo, and then that was like later on that we shot the last half of the film. So I don't know, just like the coordination, even though it was just with one person, was hard, and so that kind of gave me a better idea of like how much more difficult it could be once I'm making like a more complex film.
For Maddie, like I said before, this was her first time directing anything other than small school assignments, so it was really filling in the shoes of a director where you're in charge of all the creative decisions and leading a team. However, us as a crew, we were so determined and we believed in her so much that it just all came together, so we kind of overcame the challenge together.
Now, as a last parting moment from this Q&A, what is something that you want the audience to take away from your film?
I have no idea. Enjoy it. I don't know. It's my film. I think it's like any film. Like you go to it for a certain. You want some kind of emotion. I would think mine would evoke deep sadness and passion and romance and this is The Fortune. Sorry, the different thing. I don't know, just enjoy it. It's we're all independent filmmakers trying to make something that people enjoy. That's what it is. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you guys for even fucking paying attention to it. I appreciate every single second anyone pays attention to me. You are so done with me. And I appreciate that too. Thank you guys.
Another dollar in the swear jar.
I'm in debt.
I think what I want people to take away from my film is that you could make that. Like you sitting in that chair right now, you could make that. I don't have, obviously, I have a passion for film. It's not a thing that came easily to me, and it's something that I've spent a lot of time working at and perfecting and meeting people who've helped me so much. And I feel like a lot of people have, not to get on my soapbox, but I think a lot of people are like, oh, I wish I could start a business. I wish I could start running. I wish I could do this, that, and the third. And I just feel like if I could make that, like, you can do the thing that you want to do. And I know that might sound a bit hokey, but that's how I feel, and that's what I want to leave people with.
Oh boy. I would probably say support. The thing I want people to take away from my film is to support filmmaking, support like each other, and support physical media. So make sure that doesn't happen.
I guess the messaging in my film, I mean, part of it is that it kind of was unintentional, but I ended up realizing the meaning after I wrote it, and I feel like that kind of speaks to, like, when you're in the artistic process, sometimes it's better to not go in with a plan and to just have fun, and you end up learning something about yourself or about something from your subconscious that you weren't really aware of.
So this is from the director herself. Creating Felt has been a deeply personal journey made possible by the care and creativity of everyone involved. At its core, this film is about connection and the courage it takes to be seen. I hope Phoebe's story reminds us to dig, to find a stronger sense of hope, empathy, and imagination within ourselves.
All right, thank you guys so much. Let's give the directors another round of applause. All right, and now we've got 3 more films, and then we'll be back for another Q&A. All right, thank you guys so much for coming up here. So, my first question for you guys, first, say your names and what film you worked on.
My name is Jada Smith, and I am the director of Wants and Needs.
My name is Julie Casamonti, and I'm the director of Sogna.
I am Jada Anderson, and I directed The Departing Present.
Wonderful. All right, so for my first question, what was the inspiration for creating this film?
I think a lot of bits and pieces went into Wants and Needs. I think there was love and nostalgia for all of the Disney and 2000 shows that we grew up with. So definitely finding a way to fit that in there. And just, playing off real world circumstances and what a lot of, girls go through when they're trying to figure out and, go from that stage of being a teenager to an adult or moving from middle school to high school, just figuring out, where they fit in. So kind of, I feel like that's pretty much where Wants and Needs came from, just the idea of combining that fantasy world of us always wanting to be like Alex Russo or whatever character we're watching on our shows, but having to live in the real world.
I wanted to talk about families getting separated because of political situations, and I can't talk about American politics because I'm on a visa and I'm a student. So I decided to just talk about something that it's a history that everyone knows about in World War II, and I'm Italian, and so I was interviewing my grandparents and neighbors to hear their story.
I think my subconscious inspiration was writing about the relationship between me and my sister. She's not dead or anything. It was more just like kind of living in, not really the shadow of, because that makes it sound like I don't like her, but I do like her. I love my sister, but it's more like just trying to be my own person and not having to live up to expectations. Yeah.
All right, so what was your favorite moment from being on set?
Being on set, I feel like none of my favorite moments were things that were directly captured. Like, it was more so whatever was happening with the cast and crew behind the scenes. There was one point in time where we already started the day early. We drove all the way upstate, and then we had still a full shoot day, and people start getting delusional after a certain time. But we had to finish what we had to do for that day. And I don't even think Michael Jackson was playing. I think it was just in their heads. And like Derek specifically, like you just saw him hitting dance moves. Like they had a routine. Like it was a choreography. And I'm working, so I come downstairs and I see Michael Jackson just, woo, woo! They had choreography, songs weren't even playing, like, they just started making up their own moves, and I think that the delusional part of the night is always the best part, because we get the best laughs. So that's probably one of my favorite memories on set.
I think it was really fun to have bunnies on set. We had 6 live bunnies, and we had a lot of kids, really young girls, so they were going crazy. The bunnies were going crazy, and they were getting on my DP's camera, and he was going crazy. So that was really fun.
Probably just like working with my friends and working with like-minded people who just want to create cool films and the collaboration that goes into it. One scene was like the dialogue for it was actually improvised, so because I needed a prop and I forgot to bring it, so I was like, quick, somebody think of something. So just that moment of everyone pitching in was pretty fun.
What are you most proud of in your film?
I don't know, I'm proud of all of it. This is my first really, I won't say super large scale, but a lot more moving pieces than I'm used to. I'm a big planner, I like to know everything that's going on at what second, at what minute. And for this film, there was a lot of not that. And it's not that it was anyone's fault in particular. I didn't have an AD until, Matteo stepped in on the last day or two to help me out, so shout out to him. A lot of the planning was my own doing, and there was a lot of, shooting without permission. So the supermarket scene, we were so afraid that we were going to get kicked out of this supermarket. We were just just do it. And the checkout attendant was standing right next to us, and we were it doesn't matter if she talks to us, we just gotta keep going. And as we're packing up to leave, she was like, good luck guys. And we were oh, we could have, we had time. It wasn't that much of a rush, so it was a lot of unknowns, and that was scary to me, but it was also a lot of just working and being able to put a lot of trust into the crew members that I had, and even my cast members, to be there and to help us. We had a location fall out on us, and Sario was we can go here, and it was perfect. The place looked beautiful, so just a lot of trust, and I'm just so proud of my crew and all of us being able to pull this together. It is a long project. We went a lot of places. We were in Long Island, we were in Brooklyn, we were in Queens, we were upstate. So we were a lot of places. So it was a lot on all of us, and yeah. So I'm just really proud of my team.
I think I'm really proud to see a finished product, because indie filmmakers, no one's forcing you to do this. It's out of your desperate need to tell a story or spend a lot of money on equipment. And I think it's so satisfying to just see when you start from an idea and then you're just calling people and begging for help and figuring things out and staying up, and then finally being able to show the final film to your crew and to your actors and just send it to them, and you're sending them a link, and it's I think that's the most pride, to just be you gave me so many hours and love of your time, and I got it, we finished it. And I think for this film specifically, we lost sound for 2 weeks during editing. The drive just corrupted, so I thought it was going to be a silent film, and so I'm extremely proud that we got to figure it out, and that I get to show this film now.
I'm proud of all the people I've made cry with a film. Yeah, it sounds weird, but I didn't expect anyone to actually care that much about it, but I remember showing it, the rough cut, to my professor at the time, and then she just started crying in the middle of class, and I was like, are you good? And she was like, oh, your film was just really heartfelt, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, thanks. And my sister cried when she saw it, so I was just really, it sounds really sadistic, but I'd really like seeing them cry. in a good way.
You brought emotion out
yes,
in your film,
that's a better way of putting it, yeah, sorry.
I got you, I understood. All right, and lastly, what is something you want the audience to take away from your film?
I feel with all of my films, feminism and just telling women's story is a big part for me. And I think the biggest message that I want people to take away from Wants and Needs is, to be able to put yourself first in a way, understand how to love yourself before you love others, understand your self-worth, and don't fall into societal peer pressure. because that's a lot of what happened to Presley in this film. You know, somebody was telling her she has to do this, and then her parents were telling her that, and you know, she had to be this perfect image of whatever the people around her were telling her to be. But you, as a person, everyone moves at their own pace. Everyone has their own lesson to learn, and those lessons will come at different times. And there's no need to force that or rush that. So I feel like a big message with my film is just being your own person, moving at your own pace, knowing how to love yourself, and don't care what other people have to say about you. If you feel like what you're doing is right, and your morals are good, and your heart is good, and your mind is good, and as long as you're healthy, you know, just keep being you.
I think with this film I wanted to just explore how a kid, and it's not clear what exactly the dad has done. It's like hinted that he's writing against the regime and like what the soldiers are wanting. And I wanted to just take it away from any anchored politics we have now, and we could just connect with two kids who don't know what's going on. They're running away from their home. They can't be home, and they have to make do together. And I'm just always excited about exploring dreams in films and how your imagination can travel. And so I don't know how to answer this.
No, that was great. That was wonderful.
But yes, I was just excited for people to connect with a child being displaced without taking into account anything that feels familiar. And just how that's really universal, and it's something that has been a problem for a lot of years, and it's still important now.
Well, I think just kind of like be your own person, and don't let the past define you. Especially now that like I'm out of school, I'm trying to find, you know, a career and working a day job that's just trying to keep me afloat. It's kind of hard to, I mean, it's easy, not hard. It's easy to lose sight of like who you are, but you know, remember who you are, like Mufasa said.
Wonderful. All right. Yeah, so